Okay, and the show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to this edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, the show where two mostly normal and somewhat cynical adults discuss life as members of the TV generation. Now, here are your hosts, Darth Jader and Jason Mitchell.
That's us, and welcome back to another exciting episode of your favoriteest / hatedest podcast, Hindsighters.
Yes, I always look for that crowd, but I can't find them.
I hear them. I can't see them. What the hell? I don't understand.
Well, welcome back, everybody. It is good to have you in week X of our quarantine.
I believe it's 487
yes.
Of quarantine.
Yes. No one in this room has showered in a very long time.
Hey, no, that's not true. You and Mr. B have fessed up to that, and no. Darth Jader, she showers on a regular basis, so...
Allegedly.
What?
Anyway.
Anyhow.
So, we're back doing another
farmers.
Yes. Thank you. We're back. We're doing another quarantine episode, and we picked a movie that has nothing whatsoever to do with the quarantine.
I think the word is schlocktastic.
Yeah. We are doing the 1990 classic directed by a person.
I barely took notes on this one. I'm not going to lie, Hindsighters. I didn't go down the rabbit hole like I normally do.
We're talking about Tremors, the first one.
Yes.
And we've got some assistants.
We do.
We are going to turn it over, and we're going to let our guests... Oh, God, I just saw one of our guests.
He's officially in quarantine mode.
Yeah.
And he's still at the bunker. You know him, you love him. It's Mr. Adam B.
Say hi, everybody.
Adam.
Hello, I'm here in North Georgia. Things have gotten pretty rough here. So I've got a full battle gear. I got my M17 gas mask and my steel pot. I'm ready to take on any of those tremors.
Oh, my God.
Is that all property of the United States government?
It was at one time. Don't tell anyone that I have it now.
Well, in order to sort of balance things out, because we know everybody's getting a little tired of Adam B. We know that.
He's the guest host that we can't seem to get
rid of him.
Oh, my God. So we brought in some new blood, Jason.
Yes, we have some new blood.
And who is this?
We've got a very special, brand new guest host. Hopefully this will be the first of many.
If we don't scare him off.
Yeah.
So welcome, and we're sorry.
Yes, unless he decides he hates this.
Yeah.
My very, very dear friend Eric, who is broadcasting via Zoom from someplace, I don't even know.
Undisclosed
location.
We never disclose locations, only full names and social security numbers.
Eric, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me on. I am lucky enough to be in North Texas where things are not so bad. Luckily, we have plenty of guns and we've been virus shooting on the daily.
Nice.
So no issues here. We're not as cavalier as you Georgians, but we're still taking
Hey, our governor. Don't blame us all for this.
Hey, no, I'm happy as can be. I'm ready for it.
Well, I knew you'd be happy for the businesses
opening
and stuff. We don't have to get into politics.
No.
We're not going to, especially not on
I'm
such a silly movie.
Go ahead, Eric. I'm driving to Georgia on Friday to get my haircut and to go to the Thanksgiving, so I'm ready for it.
You can go bowling. You can eat out at a restaurant.
Get a tattoo.
Get excited. Yeah, get a
tattoo.
Show us some of your ink, Eric.
I need a gym.
There you go. There he is.
I need a gym and some and a haircut. Yeah, I've got a few things. I don't think I need any tattoos.
Gym and a haircut. 2 bits.
Eric,
all right,
yeah, I did that.
I'm a former military guy. Talk to me before you get your massage. I've got a couple recommendations.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
He was in the Navy.
All right.
In the Navy.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. So, we've got this guy on with us too, and it looks like
we actually got Bert from the movie to be.
I was about to say, Mr. Brown he's changed his look again.
I loved you on Family Ties.
Well, I expanded my horizons a little bit, got into some prepping, and the next thing you know, they're casting me in Tremors.
He did some personal landscaping.
Well, for the ladies and gentlemen at home, some of whom are below the age of, and who may
I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest one
Yeah.
in the immediate vicinity.
yeah, and who may not have seen or even heard of this movie.
Well, surprisingly, this is the first time Mr. Brown has ever seen this movie. All the
No.
way through. I know, it
This
surprised me too.
Seriously?
How could
I've
you?
never seen
Yeah,
it.
Adam,
I've seen bits of
jeez.
it, and then I stopped, but I'm glad I watched it. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
movie. It's
Pretty great.
It's a great movie because it doesn't pretend to be anything more than it is.
Oh no, it's just
it's a monster movie.
it's pure. I
you
love
got,
it.
you got Fred Ward.
And Kevin Bacon,
and-
not to be mistaken with Christian Damn Slater.
Yes, Kevin Bacon, the guy who looks like that weird girl you knew in high school.
A little bit.
Yeah, because come on, you knew a girl in high school that looked like that.
Now, I do see what you and Adam were talking about, where Christian and Kevin had similar hair back in the 90s. I will give
Yes,
you that.
yes.
Okay, fine.
But we are talking about a movie that spawned an entire genre.
A whole franchise.
Yeah, a whole franchise. They made 7 so far. They've made 7.
far.
Number 8 is coming out.
There are more than John Wick movies.
Yeah.
No joke. It's crazy.
This is a movie that started off with a very, very simple premise, which is, well, why don't you go ahead and, if you want to tell
Yes,
everybody
I can-
what the movie's about.
All right. So, Hindsighters. This movie does not. It actually has more of a synopsis than Batman and Robin did,
Yeah,
and
it's got
way
more
more
of
than
a-
Strike Zone.
It's got a lot
believe it or
more of a
not.
plot than Batman and Robin.
It does. So here we go. Repairmen, and that's not even what they would call themselves, handymen. Val McKee, Kevin Bacon, and well, his full name is Valentine McKee, and Earl Bassett, Fred Ward, are tired of their dull lives in the small desert town of Perfection, Nevada. Ugh. But just
Which used to be known as Rejection.
oh,
That's established in episode 4, which is actually a prequel
I'd
to the
forgotten
franchise.
all about that. Jesus Christ! But just as the two
I'm
try
not
to
making that up.
Just as the two try to skip town, they happen upon a series of mysterious deaths and a concerned seismologist, Finn Carter, studying unnatural readings below the ground. With the help of an eccentric couple, Reba McEntire and Michael Gross, which
Hey,
I know
don't-
Mr. Brown has a story about that.
Don't knock Reba.
I'm not making fun of her. I like Reba McEntire, but she's
Winona.
got Heather. Her name is Heather. Anyway, with the help of those two people, the group fights for survival against giant worm-like monsters hungry for human flesh.
Why'd you say that? Because you know what he's going to
Yeah.
say now.
Yes,
God,
I'm hungry.
I wear a hat for a reason now, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, so this is a movie. I saw this in the theater. Mr. Brown, obviously you didn't because you just saw this.
It made the theater?
Yes,
Yes, it did.
It actually it failed. It failed as a movie.
I was
in
too
the
young to see
theaters.
it in the theater, but
Yeah.
yes, it was in the theaters.
And it was one of the first movies to become a video blockbuster. It made 3 times as much money in rental and VHS sales
Yeah, people went nuts over this
than it
franchise.
did. Yeah, but I actually saw it in the theater. Eric, did you see it in the theater or did you see it on VHS?
I did. I was 17 years old then, and
You're breaking up.
I actually, I saw this in the theater. It was, I remember it not so vividly.
Yes,
But,
yeah.
You don't remember Kevin
Interesting.
Bacon in those tight-ass jeans, Eric? My God.
I mean, yes. What I don't remember, and I think this is what we often go is that with the movies that it was up against, and it was up against Born on the 4th of July, Tango and Cash,
Oh,
War of
really?
the Roses, and Internal
Wow.
Affairs.
Oh, well, Tango and Cash. I mean,
And somehow
come
it's the
on.
most
Exactly.
memorable of
That's
all of
exactly
those.
what I
Yeah. Well,
Tango
and
and Cash was exactly what I said.
well,
Go ahead.
and you know, so wait, it was Tango and Cash. What were the others?
Born on the 4th of July, the Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
Vietnam vet
Oliver
movie.
Stone. Yeah.
Yep. War of the Roses, and Internal Affairs. I don't remember Internal Affairs, but I remember all the rest of them.
And you know, none of those other movies had 6 sequels.
Not even John Wick has that.
You know,
not even
come on.
Jurassic Park has that many
You know,
sequels.
Born on the 4th.
I mean,
Born on the 4th of July.
Didn't
Who
you see
cares?
Born on the 10th of July?
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, after a while, it just starts to get, you know.
It gets a little monotonous.
Yeah.
Born on the 1st of September?
Yeah.
I mean, you could just keep on going. Yeah.
Okay, so we do have to get into the movie a little bit because we've already missed so
boo.
much good material, especially with, you know, everything can be settled by rock, paper, scissors. That's established very early in the movie. And there's not a ton of payoff to it. It just happens a couple of times. It's not a movie with a ton of payoff.
No, they don't do. There's a little bit of setup. You know, it begins and it sort of ends in the same location. You
Right.
know, Val and Earl are standing in the spot where at the end of the movie they'll have the final confrontation with the graboid.
Yes.
Um,
And you find out early in the movie because Kevin Bacon has that big long line about his dream list for a woman. So, and you know I wrote it down, gentlemen.
very 90s list.
Oh, absolutely.
Very 90s.
Long blonde hair, big green eyes, world-class breasts, ass that won't quit, and legs that go all the way up.
All the way
And that's
up.
the only kind of woman he's interested in. And I was like, you know, his actual real-world wife kind of fits that description.
It is logical though, because if her legs did not go all the way up,
She'd be a little wonky looking.
Well, wouldn't her legs not be attached to the rest of her body? Isn't
All the way up to what, though? You got to finish the sentence.
That's true.
That's where it
The
gets.
problem is that the proper use of that is her legs go all the way up and make an ass out of themselves.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
proper delivery of
I
that
was
line.
unaware of that as an English major. Thank you, Eric.
See, a deficiency in your college education.
Apparently
You
so,
see?
and I went to Kennesaw State. So damn, I should have known that phrase. My goodness.
Apparently, when Kevin Bacon was cast in this movie, he fell to his knees and started screaming, because he was like,
With joy?
no,
With joy?
no, not with joy.
With
Joy is not
sorrow.
in this movie.
Yeah,
Oh.
he apparently was at such a low in his career that when he got
Aw.
cast in this, he was like walking. I think he was walking the dog with his wife, or they were taking their kid somewhere, and he literally fell to his knees and was like, "I'm in a movie about a goddamn worm."
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, but it worked
Well, it
out.
Was he really at a bad place in his career at this point?
That's what he said. That's how he felt.
Which is funny because I mean, he's Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
he's a
but,
household
Hey,
name.
It was
I don't-
either this or Dances with the Stars. I think he chose wisely.
or Strike
Yeah,
Zone.
yeah.
I think Strike Zone was
Oh.
also.
Hey!
Oh,
Watch it, you. Watch it, you.
Hey, you're brave from the bunker, Mr. Brown. I can be brave from the studio. Deal with it.
No, I want to. I want
You
to.
know,
Go ahead, Eric.
you're right. He was in a bad place. He did Flatliners the same year.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot about Flatliners.
Kiefer Sutherland too.
Yeah,
so
that was Kiefer.
they both must have been in a bad place. And Julia Roberts,
Yeah.
but those are three household names.
Yeah, but Julia Roberts,
know.
she was starting that sort of long coast.
She was flatlining.
Yeah. Yes.
As it
Yes.
were. I just brought it full circle.
Okay.
You're welcome,
fair-
gentlemen. You're welcome.
To be fair, though, for Kevin Bacon, in 1991, he did JFK, and then 1992, he did A Few Good Men. So
Yeah.
dropping to his knees and praying for something, he did something right. Because
Yeah.
those were,
Yeah.
And
Well,
then he did Apollo 13 in 95.
That's
come
true.
on.
And that was the one that really turned it around.
no, it didn't because then he
didn't?
was David Lindhagen in Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell and
Well,
Ryan Gosling. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't
nobody
know that
saw
he's
that,
really
though.
bounced back. I love that movie, but I don't love it because of Kevin Bacon. If that makes any sense, it's a Steve Carell movie, so it's a good one.
But that was 21 years later, or 20 years
Yeah,
after that.
exactly.
Like, I
No,
mean, come on.
exactly.
He's
So-
slept since then.
Yeah.
And I will point this out to you, gentlemen. I don't know how you can't see the difference between Christian Slater and Kevin Bacon because they have very distinct noses. Kevin Bacon's nose goes up. Christian Slater's does not.
I'm
So
actually
get
trying
over
to
it.
imagine Christian Slater in my head, and I can't do it. I keep seeing Kevin Bacon.
It's Slater. It's a mononym. So whatever.
Now, I do want to.
Every time I
hold
think
on.
Christian Slater, I
was just going to say 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. I wore this uniform in A Few Good Men on stage. I played Kendrick. So, it's all coming full circle.
Yeah.
His military experience is kind of the reason why he has an acting career.
Yeah,
My
that's
God.
why most people go into the military is to launch their acting career.
Apparently. Apparently, well, that's what Elvis did, as we all know.
Yeah.
So,
I want to point out something though about the movie here, because we're at the scene where Val and Earl find I can't remember the character's name, but he's
it's somewhere in here. Keep going.
they find
Edgar.
Edgar is, he's a town drunk apparently.
Yep.
And they find him at the top of this tower, and they sort of make a meal out of, well, he died on top of the tower. He died of dehydration. And
Which I guess a drunk would die faster of dehydration than a
I
normal
suppose.
person.
But the way that they do it, it's like they're trying to build up a little bit of suspense of, is it who did this? What person could do this to somebody?
Well, and that's every monster movie. Like when you talk about Deep Blue Sea, where they have the big shark attack the boat in the beginning, and at least with that one, it's a little more straightforward. With this, you have no idea what's happening.
In the original cut of the movie, though, you saw absolutely nothing of the monster, no hint of the monster for probably
I have something about
for I think about 30 minutes, and they really tried to sort of play up the, everybody thinks it's a person. Is it a person? Is it a monster? Who could it be?
Well, and part of it was that the graboid concept art was considered too phallic.
Yeah. Well, because we'll come back to that. Yeah,
for sure.
So, and they did that, and actually the original movie poster had no indication of a monster on it at all.
Huh.
And the idea was that they wanted people to go into the theater and see it, and like for the first half hour, you're like, what's it's a monster. Oh, it's that kind of movie. And the studio said, no, it's a monster movie. Show the monster in the beginning. Everybody's going to know it's a monster in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they ended up putting, I don't think they put the whole graboid. I think they put like just the snake
Just the
head.
tongue.
Yeah, just the tip.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No.
This has become the new squanching joke. Jason can't go a damn episode without saying just the tip. So, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, along those lines, it's not like this wasn't done before in 1975, where we went, almost an entire movie without seeing the quote unquote monster.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, it's quite possible that they could have succeeded in that, in that same way. Because if you take a look at what's, if you're on their IMDb, on the Wikipedia page, the poster is very, very Jaws-like. It's the graboid coming up out of the ground.
You're right about that.
Well, and even the part, even the part where Chang gets eeaten is very similar to when Quint is eaten at the end of Jaws.
Right.
Well, it's an animal coming out of the ground, just similar to, because that's how sharks
They're land
attack
sharks.
you. Well, yeah, they're land sharks. Land shark. But that's how sharks attack you in real life, is that they swim up from underneath you and then attack you that way. So it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Just with giant flobber worms, as it were.
That was the original concept and the original idea of the show was land sharks. That's exactly what it was called in the early 80s. Whenever they conceived this movie, they were going to call it Land Sharks, but they stopped that because of the SNL skit.
This shot right here.
How much cocaine was involved in that concept?
You gotta wonder.
All right. Okay. So like, it's like a shark, but it's under the ground.
It's a worm.
It's under the ground. Hey, did you see Dune? Like that.
Like that.
And just think, 20
you-
years later, there'd be a bad beer called Land Shark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder, I have to ask, is there sort of a Batman and Robin kind of relationship between Earl and Valentine? Because even when they're complaining at the first of the movie where Earl is sleeping in the back of the truck, in the bed of the truck, and then they decide, oh, we don't want to be handyman anymore. This isn't for us. We want good, steady work. We want to be employees or whatever. And then when they're headed to Bixby, they're like, oh, so where are we going to live? Like, they're together.
Well,
you just don't know how.
Well, they have a father-son sort of thing.
I guess so.
Which is like the Batman and Robin thing. I actually think it's more like old Batman and young Batman, because Burt Ward is sort of like, Dark Knight, old, crotchety, but he's still got his moves.
Okay.
He's got his moves. Burt Ward,
all right. I'll go with you on that.
Hey, Burt Ward, does anybody remember the movie Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins?
I do not.
Of course, with Joel Grey, I believe, was the sidekick, right?
It was based on a book.
It's
an 80s movie that was supposed to inspire a franchise of action movies They made one, and it starred Burt
Unlike
Ward.
this, they made like 40.
No,
Yeah.
Fred Ward, not Burt Ward.
Fred Ward, not Burt Ward.
I wasn't going to mess with you. No, because
They are different. They are different people, Jason.
well, I'm guilty
They're
of
so
that too.
similar.
I'm guilty of that too. I call Kelly Bishop Emily Bishop all the time on this show, and actually her name is Kelly Bishop. Her name is Emily on Gilmore Girls,
Right.
and I screw that up all the time. So we just roll with it.
Well, a couple of interesting things that I've seen this movie a million times, and just today I learned two things that surprised the hell out of me.
Tell us.
First of all, you know the little girl on the pogo
Yes,
stick?
that surprised me too. This was crazy.
I've 1,000 times I've seen this movie, and I never realized that the little girl on the pogo stick is Lex from Jurassic Park.
Whoa,
It's
really?
totally her.
Wow.
Yes.
Just like how the little girl from Signs is the younger sister from Zombieland.
But the other thing that got
Oh
me.
yeah, right. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but Jason, that's what I
Wah,
was,
wah.
juxtaposition, gentlemen. God.
But the other thing that got me is if you remember the part where the doctor and his wife, they're building the house out in the desert, and she ends up in the car, and the car, sinks. The graboids drag
Yeah.
the car under.
They grab her.
That's Dr. Carol Marcus from Star Trek II.
It is not.
It is. That's
Yeah,
right.
I had no idea.
Technically, she's from the original series.
That's
She
true.
reprised her role.
That's
in
true.
Star Trek 2, but
All right.
for the vast
All right.
majority of our watching,
Color me
audience, they probably
surprised.
read
Well
that's the
done.
first one.
Yeah.
What I think is one of the interesting things about this movie, though, is that like if you take a look at this from in the zeitgeist of pop culture, like first off, the fact that there's that many movies is one thing,
Yeah.
and it
Yes.
is this huge cult classic. But what I did not remember was Walter Chang, Victor, the store owner,
Yes.
actually, and them being the fact that they actually were able to name these creatures, and they chose graboids.
Yeah.
But it's stuck. They stuck with the brand. They stuck with the entire time. And
Yeah.
I did not remember that they were the ones who actually did that. And stuck to that the whole time throughout this entire series.
Well, to be fair, he was a Chang baby. So, and Chang babies are pretty tough. So,
Unlike the Coronita babies
Yeah,
that will be
yeah.
born 8
Come
months
on,
from
somebody's-
now.
somebody watches Community around here, please.
Adam, did you put him up to this? I
Chang,
swear
Chang,
to God.
Chang, 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 Chang.
Yes. It sounds racist, so I'm not touching it.
No, I meant the Community reference. Anyway.
Now streaming
he
on
will
Netflix.
not shut the hell up about Community. My God.
6 seasons in a movie.
Game of Thrones. Watch you some Game of Thrones, and we'll see. We gotta do that eventually. I'll make you watch
I
Game
saw a
of
thing on the
Thrones.
internet that said Tiger King is just a white trash Game of Thrones. Have you all seen this?
No, it is not. Oh my.
No, there's a great meme. I'll find it and send it to you.
Of course.
That it has all the
God.
characters from Game of Thrones and who their analogs are in Tiger King.
I'm upset.
just looking at the photographs.
No one
it's-
was on meth in Game of Thrones. No one. God.
as far as you know.
Well, that's. I can't argue. I give up.
Oh, you got her. You got her on that
I got
one.
her.
give up.
I got her.
I give up.
Moving on to Michael Gross.
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you. I
Mr.
was
Brown has a
exactly
story
going
about that
there,
too.
yes.
Michael Gross literally wrapped up filming the last episode of Family Ties,
Yes.
and it was either 24 hours or 48 hours later, he was on the set of Tremors.
Yes.
And I think that's pretty cool because then he did this and he's still doing it. Michael Gross is still making these movies.
I thought he
How old is he? 72? He's like
Let's find
72
out.
years old.
Let's find out.
Find out. I think he's in the new one. I didn't. The new one is like Tremors Island Terror or something. It's like
Hey, Adam,
Tremors
how old
Road
did you say
Trip.
he is?
Oh
Oops,
wait.
I may be off a little bit. I said 72.
No,
How
no,
old
no.
is he?
You were
He's
exactly right,
exactly
Mr. Brown.
72.
Yes, he is. June 21st,
Oh, shoot.
1947.
Oh, my God.
72 years old.
what a
Good
twist.
job.
Yeah, there it is. Dr. Carol Marcus.
Oh my. And
She banged Captain Kirk. So
Who didn't bang
Yeah.
Captain Kirk? That's my
Made
question.
love.
Okay.
He made love to him.
he put a
Oh,
baby
is-
in her though. That was the difference.
No, that was Alan Rickman in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. But anyway,
Shatner put a baby in Alan Rickman? This is getting scandalous.
So
it's
I
just now
remember
getting scandalous. God.
I remember when I saw this movie and I was like, oh my God, the crazy liberal hippie dad from Family Ties is now
Yes.
a gun-toting, like,
Yeah.
Second Amendment NRA back in, I mean, and this is 1990, for Christ's sakes.
And I kind of get the impression that this is a lot closer to his actual character than the
Probably.
Family Ties character. Because, like, for instance, the GMC, the Jimmy that he drives in this movie is actually, that's his Jimmy. That's his vehicle. And
You mean a station wagon with a belt on it?
yeah, well, hey, I used to drive a Blazer, which is basically a Jimmy, and I can tell you, it was a piece of crap.
I believe
It
that.
was the shittiest,
I believe it.
shittiest vehicle I ever drove in my life.
See, I want to believe that he's a raving libertarian. I mean, he went
Yeah.
to the University of Illinois, Chicago, and then he went to Yale.
I could see that. I could see him being basically just, just a libertarian, He's got a hell of a collection of guns in this movie, though, including, I just love that the elephant gun.
Oh, the elephant
Yeah,
gun.
the 8-gauge elephant gun. And you know where it was made? What country? Oh, Belgium. What did,
Of all
what did,
All the great
places.
guns are made in Belgium.
yeah, but particularly one designed to kill elephants.
Before we get off Michael Gross, though, I know Mr. B has a story, but he was also in Parks and Recreation. And going back to the whole libertarian thing, he was one of the former heads of the Parks and Recreation, and he was a complete pothead in that episode. It's where they did the summer catalog or something, and he's like, yeah, let's just smoke a J and have a picnic. Like, that was his whole deal on that episode. I just put that together because I never realized that was the same guy
That
as him from Tremors. But yeah, Mr. B, I know he's got a good story about Michael Gross. He actually got to meet him in real life.
Oh, I did meet him. I was a fan of Family Ties since it began. I just absolutely love that show. Alex P. Keaton and the conflict between Michael Gross. So there was an event in New York City when I was living there. It was some kind of award ceremony for casting folks, but it was really small, in a small venue. And the speakers were Michael Gross, Andrew McCarthy, and Sally Jesse Raphael. I
Oh
don't know
my
if you
God.
remember her.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember her.
But I had to run up to Michael Gross after the event, and it was great. He was just standing there, and I went having a drink. I had a cocktail with him. We chatted for a while. Just the really the nicest guy.
Did you do the
He
thing?
was-
Did you do the thing where you both raise a hand and like?
No, I didn't do anything weird. I probably should have.
Which is
but I did.
strange for Mr. Brown, but all right, proceed.
But I'll tell you, Sally Jesse was a bit unhinged. She was not a happy
No.
person.
Surely not.
No.
Yeah, she really
Never.
was. But
There
a
she
real
is.
funny
There's
story
Lex.
is.
Yeah, that is her.
Really quick, is Michael Gross married the casting agent who cast him in Family Ties.
Nice.
And
What a sweet
if you know
story.
anything about agents and casting directors, agents are always trying to get you the most money. Casting directors are always trying to push the amount of money that you get down as low as possible
Sure.
to save the production company. Of course, after they got married, she kind of regretted
Yeah.
pushing
Jipping
that
him.
salary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was a great experience. I
Yeah.
love Michael.
And this movie does have a really good cast.
Yeah.
There's
It
no.
really does.
Yeah, the only actor who's sort of annoying, and it's not really his fault because the character is annoying, is Melvin,
The teenager.
the teenager.
The teenager?
He was in
Yeah.
the Wonder Years.
Was he? I know
he
he's
was the older brother in the Wonder Years. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I sat there all last night. I was like, where do I know this kid from? And it was the freaking Wonder Years, of course. So, yeah.
Winona.
Winona.
And I've always been a fan of Kevin Bacon's sidekick, Fred Savage, right?
Yes. Yes.
Just to follow in Jason's footsteps
Yeah.
and mixing up names a little bit.
Fred Savage, he could play
No.
Robin to Kevin Bacon's
Yeah.
Batman.
Yes, he
I
could.
do think that out of everything, whenever I like watching this movie, like the things that I took away from was the annoying teenager. Like I was like, dude,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
shut your pie hole.
He
Like,
is-
Yeah.
he just
He's
he
the
is
worst.
such a 1990 teenager.
Yeah.
Like he's dressed
Yeah.
like, I mean, not that I ever dressed like him.
Never.
So can we talk about Reba?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's talk
we
about
can.
Reba.
Absolutely.
I love Reba.
Reba McEntire.
Well,
I mean,
you go ahead.
You're at the height of your career. I mean, she is legitimately like the queen of country music, Dolly
Yeah.
Parton, has taken her boobs off and handed them to Reba.
It's like a Family Guy cutaway. You've killed Darth, by the way. you've slain her.
Normally, okay, Eric, you know what? I'm going to give you a virtual high five over that one because normally only Jason can make me laugh that damn hard. Good job.
I forgot to mention that Eric and I have known each other long enough that our senses of humor have a lot of. Yeah.
Now, occasionally Mr. Brown will get me like that, but never on a first meetup.
I mean, look.
Oh my God.
You got to understand.
Wait till you meet me in person.
Yeah, he and I put up with each other. Well, he put up with me. We lived in the same household for the same haunted household. In fact,
You lived in the haunted house?
yes.
Oh my
did.
God. I didn't realize you were that guy. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm
It's all
one of
coming
that
together.
guy. The other,
Yep.
All
the
coming
other one's a
together.
pastor. He's currently
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it.
Yeah. He's been mentioned a couple times, but I just didn't name him. I just told the
No,
stories
yeah,
about
he's
him.
never said your name, so I didn't realize that you were the same guy in the haunted house. Oh, that's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. The house with the walker in the attic and
Yep.
the old clothes and
And the skeleton that was clutching the prosecco
the skeletons,
we brought
yeah.
to one of our episodes.
yeah. So that was
shit.
going back 45 years ago, I think it was.
Something
yeah,
like
something
that.
like
Something like
that.
that.
Yeah.
We don't know
Okay.
how old anyone is on this podcast.
So can we get back to Reba?
No.
Yes.
The transfer. Yes. So here you are. You are at the height of basically country music queendom,
Mhm.
and you get the opportunity to go and be on this movie with Kevin Bacon and Michael Gross, which is exactly how they sold it to her. I mean, she was like, you get to be
Yeah.
on that movie with the guy from Family Ties and the dude who danced from Footloose. Because that's all she knew. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
how they did it.
Yeah.
What
And-
the fuck was she thinking?
No,
Well,
but that's almost some Princess Bride level stuff because Carol
It is.
Carol Kane,
Carol Kane.
who played
Carol
Billy
Kane,
Crystal's
yes.
wife in that movie. Leia, that lady. She didn't even really know what the movie was about, but she heard, oh, I'm going to be Billy Crystal's wife in this movie? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in. Sign me up. Like,
Yeah.
she was all for it when she heard that name. So, yeah, I
yeah,
can totally
you
see
wonder
how
if
that
they
would
went
happen.
into Reba's office and they said, "You want to be in the movie? Here it is." Oh, that's great. Can I see a script? Yeah. We'll get you a script.
Yeah, we'll get you one.
What's it about?
We
It's-
haven't written it yet.
It's about life in a small town in Nevada, in
I'm in.
rural Nevada, poor people living in a town with worms in the ground.
and stuff. No, but every time I think of Reba McEntire, I also think because I grew up with very Southern parents, as did Jason, and I remember hearing all the commercials for Reba Mac because they would get people, the country music stars, as you were
Winona.
talking about, Eric, to sort of shout out like, "Hey, this is Reba McEntire. Hey, this is Kenny Chesney. Hi, this is Keith Urban." And that's whenever I think of her, because they were on that same commercial together because he's Australian, and you're like, wait a minute, who was that? So
See, and the sad thing for me is that Reba, in my mind, has sort of unfortunately been like, I just identify her with the tragedy that happened to her, which
Remind me, I'm
her
having a minute.
entire band
oh yeah, okay.
was wiped out in a plane crash,
yeah,
and she didn't happen to be on the flight.
yeah, and
You just imagine, you've been working with the same crew of people for so many years, so many decades, and just they're gone overnight.
and that's happened a lot of times.
Yeah, don't fly. If you play an instrument,
Never.
don't fly.
No, never. That's the day the music died,
Yeah.
as it were.
I mean,
that wasn't even a joke. Why are you laughing?
As a mentor of mine always said, if it float, flies, or fucks, rent it. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is this guy? Why hasn't he been on our show before? My God.
Telling you. So it's the same wavelength.
Damn.
Now, I do think it's important to talk about, because this is the first time in the movie that we get to see a full-on graboid. And
Yes.
that's right.
That's
the,
true.
the daddy graboid.
Yes.
The daddy
Mommy
Stumpy.
graboid,
Stumpy.
Whatever.
Wait, no, that's not Stumpy. Stumpy's the one later, because no, they call it Stumpy because it's the one that they ripped the snake off of. They call it Stumpy.
Right, because
But when they originally came up with
And
the
he's
idea,
tearing down the fence that they built.
yeah, I know, jerk.
Bastard.
But he's an
Pissed
idiot.
off, yeah.
He's an
So
idiot though, because he runs into the concrete and kills himself.
That's true.
You know, rookie move, Graboid. But when they originally came up with the concept for these monsters, the idea was that they had this
Penises.
that it had like a hard shell, like you see in the movie, but then it could basically take the shell off whenever it was above the ground.
I thought you were going in a whole different
No,
direction.
and apparently it like the guys who made it, and they were like, "This is the best monster in history," and they showed it to people, and they said, "What do you think?" And they all universally said, "It's a penis."
Yeah, no, that's exactly what. It's a penis with penis tongues.
What, Mr. Big?
Jason, did it require a rabbi to remove the shell?
Yes. They had a brisk.
That's a moil.
You're a hot mess. Anyway, yeah. So, thank God a seismologist is just in town, guys.
I know.
You know, because otherwise,
Your friendly neighborhood seismologist.
How the hell else would we have figured this out?
But she doesn't really contribute much other than pole vaulting.
Yeah, which is so
And the
random.
water.
Right.
That,
And the water when she kicks the pipe and she makes the water fall out. But
Because
then
in-
she hangs out on the ladder long enough.
because every monster in every movie that we review, it has a weakness for water, including Signs.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did Signs.
The
We haven't
monsters.
released it
Wait,
yet.
wasn't there a movie set? Mr. B, can you remind me? There was a movie that was set in an apartment complex. If I remember.
Let's see. It's kind of like Tremors,
Why?
but it's not. It kind of rhymes with
Yeah.
rivers.
Yeah.
Shivers. That's right.
I'll be under the table.
Shivers.
Yes.
For
I
Tremors.
I want to see David Cronenberg's Tremors. Because he would
Mr.
have.
Brown, wait till you get out of your bunker. Just wait.
Because David Cronenberg would have looked at the original monster and said, "No, not enough like a penis.
Not foul enough. Yeah.
I want it more penis-like."
Can it violate a woman?
Now
Or a
I've got to
man?
go. I'm being kicked out of my condo in Canada.
Yeah, there's a reason why that happened, Mr. Cronenberg.
So, another thing interesting too about from a production standpoint is that the director of this movie, Ron Underwood, he directed this movie, and then he went on to direct a number of movies after that, things that we probably would remember and some things we don't remember. One of the biggest ones is that he directed City Slickers.
Yes.
Did
Huge.
he really?
Yes, he did. Huge success.
Yes, he
Wow.
did.
Did not realize.
And then his career legitimately hit black ice for 10 years.
Yeah.
And he finished up with The Adventures of Pluto Nash,
Oh.
to which he won a Razzie. Yeah.
He's doing TV now.
But you know
yeah.
what? And you know what's interesting about that? That's exactly where I was going, because the producer on this movie was none other than Miss Gail Ann Hurd, which you folks in Georgia should know very well, because she's been a long time Walking Dead fame in director and that production. And she brought Ron Underwood back to direct some episodes of Fear the Walking Dead.
I didn't
where
realize
she
that.
was yeah. So
That's
they have a
cool.
history. I'm sure they probably had a little boning, but right. I'm sure Adam can tell us about, Mr. B can tell us about what goes on in the movie industry or those things. But
A lot of boning. Yes. A lot of it.
yeah.
Oh, this guy's got to come back on our show.
The theater.
Oh my God. Okay, I've got a question specifically for Jason and Mr. B at this point, because why do we keep watching movies about guys in tight jeans in the desert?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, you remember Shivers, but you don't remember Fire in the Sky? Your own pick?
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah, Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, with Patrick...
Jason Patrick.
Jason Patrick. I was about to say Patrick Duffy.
And
I love Dallas.
and Elliot from E.T.
E.T.
Yes.
Yeah. Tight jeans and
Swayze.
desert.
We have not done
I
a
was gonna
Patrick
say
Swayze
Patrick
movie.
Stewart, but
I wish. We're going to do a Patrick Stewart movie, and actually, Eric, you would probably, because he and I watched this movie together, we're going to do Life Force at some point.
Oh, God. If we can...
If we can find it. If we can find
We
it.
found Strike Zone. We've
Yeah,
got to
'cause
be able to
I
find
can't
Life
find
Force.
Life Force.
No, I've got a VHS
Life
copy
Force.
of it hiding somewhere.
Somewhere
and
in the ether.
if I can find it, I can send it around and we can all watch it. But for some reason, heaven
Oh yeah,
knows.
that VCR I have connects to my television.
Yeah.
No, I have a VCR. I just I don't know where the
I
tape
can
is.
find a VCR.
Yeah.
I can.
No,
find,
I've got a VCR. If you can find
you do?
yes, I have a VCR.
Oh,
if you can
wow.
find the VHS. But here we go. The very Aladdin moment that we
Yes.
have, where pole vaulting becomes incredibly important to the plot of the story. So I don't
Where
understand
did they
how
get these?
They're just laying there.
they're just conveniently there. And I love how it
Perfect
took the seismologist about 24 hours to figure out, oh, we can jump from rock to rock. Because at first she doesn't even realize. I guess it's because she's a student, so maybe that's what it is.
Student.
But she's like, oh, right. The rock is like a perfect conductor for sound. That's how they know where we are. And it's... You're a seismologist. My God, shouldn't you know this?
She's a student seismologist.
I just said that.
She didn't get to that class yet.
I guess not.
And she's
not
got
a geologist. She's
Yes,
a seismologist.
that's
It's very
true.
different.
It's very
she's
different.
a
yeah.
seismologist with beautiful blue eyes.
Yes, and
That's
great legs.
important.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
They don't go up to here, and they're not green. Her eyes, they're not
Oh,
green.
that's-
I
Of course,
just,
her legs aren't green.
I would hope not, unless she's a space woman that
Highly illogical, Captain.
Anyway, but yeah, so she saves their lives by pole vaulting. And oh my God, the clothes are so 90s. There's so much denim.
It's
There's
so-
so much
so
denim.
90s.
I love
So
her
many
pants.
buttons and
Yeah.
so much denim.
Love
Her pants are up to
I want
about.
those pants.
Yeah, they're up to about just below
Her bra and her pant line are about this
Well, no,
far
she's not wearing a bra. It's very obvious that she's not wearing a bra.
No, it's the double pleats. It's the double pleats on those Z Cavaricci knockoffs. Oh
Yes.
my God.
I need to get
'Cause
more
she-
women
Those
back
things
on this
would
damn
look
show.
So good on the floor.
Because she's a student. She couldn't afford the real Z Cavariccis.
Or
you
she
see?
burned them at a protest.
Yeah, she. What?
She burned her bra. She's not wearing a bra. That's what she burned.
Oh.
It's-
Okay.
See, your boy gets me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so we pole vaulted
Your
our way to
boy?
safety.
See, I'd burn a bra.
Jason's- Jason's boy,
I'd burn a
Eric.
bra at a protest. I don't think anybody would care.
Well, if you took it off, they would.
I suppose. I think it would send a different message. Oh, and then we have the sweet moment where Kevin
You're a
Bacon.
hot mess. Anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah. That is the thing.
VPL.
Because
VPL.
with Kevin Bacon's whole list, and we haven't really.
Visible panty line.
Oh, does she? I was checking.
Yes. Yeah, she does.
She doesn't
Anyway,
wear underoos.
underoos.
Yeah, they're fun to wear.
No, I know what you're talking about. Anyway, with Kevin Bacon's whole
Spider-Man.
list about the ideal woman in the beginning, Earl is kind of coming down on him like, unless a woman really checks off all those boxes for you, you won't consider any woman. Like, seriously, go after this one. And I thought about you, Jason, and you, Mr. B, because y'all made fun of the wilting daisy type on our Much Ado episode a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what Earl is making fun of Kevin Bacon for. He's like, you want this particular type of lady who's just like, oh my goodness, I broke a nail. And he makes fun of Kevin Bacon for that. He's like, go after somebody more, like, not just realistic, but stronger. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Throw this at you. But yeah, okay. She's not wearing a bra. It's true, Hindsighter. She's not.
Could I ask you guys a personal question? Would you all still be friends with me if I wore cowboy boots? Or would that tear it? Would that just be the last
It depends
straw?
on what else you're wearing. Is that all you're wearing? Because I wouldn't come around you then.
Let's assume I have other things on,
Okay.
like
Then
shorts.
I wouldn't defend you against others, but I would
if I
still
had
be friends with you.
if I had blue
on the
jeans,
deal.
if I was wearing blue jeans and cowboy boots, would you guys still be friends with me? I know it's asking
Jason, I would still be friends with
why. All
you.
right, all right.
Well, you cast him in everything, so of course he would.
Well, of course, yeah, that's the way it works. You gotta stroke the director if you wanna get the role
Yep.
in more ways than one. Wink, wink.
Now I didn't
Darth,
know
your
this
comment?
I have a
about.
fantastic,
I'm just now learning
wait.
this about the two of you. So
What was that, Eric?
I have a fantastic pair of Tecovas cowboy boots that I specifically bought because they work with my skinny jeans. So I'm just gonna say.
See, I'm telling you, I like cowboy boots.
I have two pairs of cowboy boots myself, but we're from the South. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And of course, I can't pull off the Kevin Bacon hair. I can't do that. My hair's too curly.
No, well,
You know.
I'll flat iron
I
it.
can-
If you grow it out, I'll flat iron it for you, so you can have some
you believe it or not, that's
some
been
Kevin Slater hair.
believe it or not, that's been tried and it didn't work. Total failure.
See, that's the thing, though. Is
I
that,
will say this: he is gorgeous in this movie.
Well, he's a good looking man.
Yeah, he's got the slender jeans.
So-
He's got all the denim.
I'm more
I
of a
have to say
Michael
this as
Gross
well.
man.
One of the things that caught me about this movie and really pulled on my nostalgia heartstrings is the Mazda pickup truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as a young lad in the early 1990s who was getting his driver's license, the only thing I wanted in life was a Mazda pickup truck.
Hey, that's a good pickup truck.
All right.
It was a
My
fantastic
first
pickup truck.
car was
Yeah.
a Mazda 6. It was not the truck. It was the Mazda 6.
You had a
four-door.
Mazda
No,
6?
no, no.
I had a Mazda
No,
6.
no,
That
no,
was the
no.
best car I ever
No.
owned.
No. You don't understand. Mazda 6s were made under the Ford when Ford purchased Mazda. Okay, they were crappy Ford knockoffs.
Josh's
the Mazda
ears are
pickup
ringing
truck
right now.
was before the Ford acquisition, and it was truly the greatest pickup truck ever made.
Well,
I just got my ass
well,
handed
now
to me.
hang on a second, because I know for a fact that the Toyota Hilux cannot be destroyed. So,
Most Toyotas can't be destroyed.
You know.
Like they're just that stable.
so what is everybody driving nowadays? What is?
I don't
are
need my
we-
trolls knowing that information.
You don't know that?
Yeah,
Okay.
They've been
I don't-
looking for me.
I'm not giving up.
Okay.
I live in
I'm not giving up
unincorporated
that
territory
Okay.
for a reason.
All right. Okay. Just because I feel like it.
Go
If you
for
were
it.
going to buy a car tomorrow, what would it be?
The same car that I already have, which means that I'm not going to tell you what I'm driving.
Really? You'd stick
Yes.
with the same car?
Yes, I've only had it for 2 years.
What fun is that?
I love my car. My car's perfect. She's
Yeah.
got a lot of giddy up.
Because I know we have.
Lamborghini Diablo, my friend.
There you go.
That's what I would buy.
That was
Oh, okay.
that
all
was
right.
the
If we're- if
answer
we're-
I was
okay.
looking
If we're
for.
going full fantasy car, I
and
would
this
go,
is coming from a Porsche driver.
No, I would go
Yes.
for. Well, he drives a Porsche and multiple other cars, but I would go for a '66 GTO,
Okay.
black on black.
Whoa,
That's
the
what I would
goat,
do.
huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
Absolutely,
Very nice.
that's what I would do. What about you?
I just wouldn't
Mitchell?
drive.
Yeah, I just want to get in the car and drive somewhere. Yeah. Yeah. At this point, whatever.
We drove here.
Aston Martin DB12.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, wow.
If I could just have anything in the world, yeah.
All right.
Anyway, though,
I'm all right with
speaking
I'm
of
not a
drunk,
car guy, so another thing I noticed too is that this was a surprising thing too, is as a reformed smoker, and because
We
of
don't
the
have
time
any of
period,
those
I
on
was
this show.
very surprised that they actually used the Marlboro brand
yeah,
in this movie.
I guess
Because
1990.
typically it was, yeah, which was, there was a whole string of movies and TV series who were using a very, very specific brand of cigarettes at the time that looked exactly like Marlboros, but they did not use the Marlboro brand because they didn't want to pay.
right.
Right.
Or
They didn't want to
even
pay
when we go after
Superman
that.
getting thrown into
Yeah.
the Coke truck,
Yeah.
kind of,
Right.
Yeah, getcha. But wait, you guys weren't smoking those, mint cigarettes? God, what's the matter with you?
we in
Virginia
college.
Slim? Did you smoke Virginia Slim?
No,
No,
Camel
we
number 9s, the mint flavors.
No,
Whoa.
back in
Those were your
college.
brand?
Back in the olden days in college, it was Marlboro Lights and Ultralights, and of course our roommate smoked cloves.
Yes.
And
You
and
did not.
no,
not me.
not him. Our roommate, the third person, he smoked cloves,
Oh,
and
my.
they smelled like a combination of weed and kitty litter.
Ew. As an anosmic person, I'm super glad that I'm anosmic right now. That's
They
ugh,
were the
God.
God, those are the nastiest.
Sounds
things.
god awful.
And like when he would draw on them, they would like crackle because it was like full of like I guess kitty litter.
Ew. Yeah, I guess so. Or crack rocks.
Whatever,
Either way.
yeah.
Either way.
We
But-
legitimately had an attic fan in our house, and
Oh,
I lived
yes.
in a converted garage. So they had converted the garage into a bedroom.
God, gentlemen, do you remember
and-
houses like that?
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was
No,
so
and
awesome.
so
Go ahead,
we
Eric.
would go in and we would go to my room and we would, us and our friends, the three of us, and then all our other friends, we would go smoke as many cigarettes as we possibly could to where we got the layer of smoke about shoulder height.
Sweet
And then we would
Jesus.
run. We would run through the house and turn the black lights on and then turn the attic fan on and watch the smoke careen through the house and get sucked out by the attic fan.
The attic fan.
And we were just smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Back when you lived in a house that was older than all three of you combined.
Yeah.
Like,
The attic fan, when you would turn it on, because I had, those bead doors from the 60s? I
I need to see this house.
I totally had a bead door. And when you would turn the attic fan on, all the beads on the bead door would sort of come like
waft
this.
a little
and
bit,
they would tilt in, and you would open the windows, and on a cool night, it was the best. It was so awesome. And, it had a demon in it. But other than that.
Yeah, it was haunted and there was a lot of smoke. But, I mean, those things kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And we had a roommate who had problems with flatulence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, once again, as an anosmic person, just super glad to be one right now.
No, the sound would have gotten you.
Well, see, I actually had somebody, and Eric doesn't know this about me. So, Eric, I can't smell. I'm anosmic. I don't have a sense of smell.
Yeah,
So,
I heard that numerous times. So.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You've told him about it.
Yeah,
Okay, didn't know that.
No, it's just
No, I just
you
heard
mention
you
it a
say it.
lot.
No, I've said anosmic, but a lot of people ask me what that means because
Right.
it's not a very common thing.
Right.
But
I
I
might
had
be from Louisiana, but I know words.
you damn hillbilly. Anyway, no. Well, I guess that would be me because I'm the one who's.
Yeah,
from
you're the
Georgia, so I'm the
hillbilly,
hillbilly.
yeah.
But anyway, no. I had a guy tell me at an old job of mine. He's like, "Wait a minute." Because we were talking football. There was a football game the night prior, and he goes, "Wait a minute, hold on, stop. So you cook, you know football, and you can't smell? Will you marry me?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" He was like, "You're the perfect woman," and I was like, "That's pathetic." But yeah.
No, but there is something to that. There's definitely something.
No, but
to
you said the
that.
sound, and that memory popped up, and I was like, "Oh God!" Like,
Yeah.
apparently that's a big deal for guys.
Because for most guys, the only way that we ever know that we smell bad is because there's a woman who tells us.
Yes.
especially now during quarantine.
Especially, by the way, Mr. B, have you showered?
Quit asking him that.
I did just for you guys today.
I mean, he definitely
And I'll-
shaved.
And I'll shower next week again, just for you guys.
We appreciate it.
When does your quarantine lift? Your because I know that the governor has his schedule, but you've got
He's
a
the
different
military
schedule.
man. He's very, very serious about this.
I've got enough food here for 6 months, my friend.
Okay.
So I'm ready.
He's
I'm
like
ready.
Dwight on The Office. He's ready to go. He's
He's
got
like
canned
Bert.
tomatoes for months.
Food for 5 years, 1,000 gallons of gasoline.
Well,
Goddamn
Gasoline.
monsters.
Oh my God.
I've been waiting for this moment my entire life.
All the introverts have been
So-
saying that.
So this scene in the movie is one of my favorites as well.
Oh, right, there's a
To
movie.
actually talk about the movie.
Yeah, well, we get there.
Right.
The graboid is extremely creative. She gets wrapped up in the barbed wire, and the little tiny graboids grab the post,
Yes.
and then they go out and they start pulling her in, and then Kevin Slater goes in and he smacks the top of the graboid, and the little graboid pulls the axe picks out of her out of the back of it.
Yeah.
They are working together. You do not realize how that never happens in a first movie.
No.
Those things happen in the sequels.
That's true.
When they
And
get to be
Kevin
that
Bacon
smart.
very cleverly removed her pants.
Yes, yes.
And
No,
her
and
it
she
was
and that was kind of a surprise to her, to the actress.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
kind of like Chevy
yeah.
Chase in
that, Yeah, that her reaction in that shot is totally legitimate.
Oh wow.
Because she knew it was going to happen, but she found out essentially right before the shot.
Kevin Bacon's just gonna undress you most
Yeah.
of the way. Just run with it.
But it's interesting though you bring that up though about the stuff that you would normally see in the sequels, because for this franchise, for those of you who haven't seen episodes 2 through 7 of the Trimmers saga,
So many damn movies.
8's coming out.
Oh Christ.
They introduce in the different movies different other versions of the graboids, and in the second
That's
movie,
true.
in the second movie they have what they call the screamers, who
Yeah,
are
the-
like
the-
little bipedal,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's
Bipedal.
yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. Whatever.
Sure, why not?
They eat food and they multiply. They're like gremlins.
They're like
whatever.
rabbits.
Yeah. But then in the third movie they introduce.
She's putting her pants back on in a hurry. Good
Yeah.
Lord. Sorry.
Look at the town she's in. In the third movie, though, they introduced the graboids that can fly, and they can fly by
Shut that out.
No, seriously, yeah, they can fly by mixing the chemicals in their stomach together, and it ignites, and they shoot fire out of their ass. And they're actually known in the franchise as ass blasters. That's the name. So you can sort of see
I'm so sad
where
right
it
now.
where
I'd
it
forgotten
sort of
about all. I had shut
goes.
it. Kind of
Yeah.
like a lot of what happened in Deliverance. I shut it out.
Yeah.
I just shut it out. But no, thank you for
Burt
bringing
Reynolds
that
was in
back into my
Deliverance?
brain. Harrison
the
Ford was in
ass
Star
blasters
Wars.
lay the eggs.
Say
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, they lay the eggs. The ass blasters lay the eggs. They're like,
Right.
they're the most important part of the life cycle. But
Oh my
yeah,
god,
Um,
I'd forgotten about that. But
Well,
yeah,
Mr. Chang just got eaten.
Yes.
Yeah, he did,
Poor Mr.
yeah.
Chang.
The
Yeah,
graboid
Victor
had a
Wong.
number 7 without rice.
Yeah.
yeah. I actually
Racist.
really like this. I really like this scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Like the Super Mario nature of this.
Yeah.
Jumping from
The floor is
top of
lava.
cabinets. Yeah, the
True
floor is lava.
American.
Well, and it's interesting, too, because in the entire movie, there's only 2 interior sets in the entire movie. Every shot is an
Right.
exterior shot, except for the market and the basement.
Which you have to know, like, as people who have been in movies or like any sort of acting scenario, being in that kind of a set with no indoor, that's miserable.
Yeah.
Because there was a James Franco movie a couple of years ago that shot here in Georgia, and it was out just
The
in
Room?
No, not The Room. It was.
Hi, Paul.
It was.
Oh, hi, Tom.
Y'all just-
You're my favorite customer.
Oh no, there's another one. Oh sweet Jesus, there's another one.
Yeah.
No. Oh
They're
God.
binding.
Oh no. But oh, I touched my face again. God, we're all gonna die of coronavirus. Sorry guys. But anyway. Oh wait, no. There's Mr. Chang.
No, he's the...
Wait.
No,
No, that's not Mr.
Chang is Asian.
Oh,
He's-
sorry.
He's
I messed
He got
up.
eaten.
he's Latino.
I messed up. Sorry.
I understand that for some
I know
people
they're all
they
the
all
same
look
to you,
alike.
Darth, but foreigners. But that begs the question. I have a question. When one of the grabbers has eaten you, when is the point of no return? When it's better off to be dead than to pull him out?
Well,
You know,
The first fight.
You always pull out, Mr. Brown. Always.
just the tip. The
Oh.
the third movie, I think, Fred Ward actually gets eaten by one, and they take a chainsaw and they kill the graboid, and then they take a chainsaw and they cut it open, and he comes out and he's fine. So it's
No way.
It's kind of it depends.
kind of like Jonah.
Yeah,
Jonah and the whale.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's very biblical.
Here we go with our preppers,
Ye-
Reba and her husband.
Yay, and Reba did put up her binoculars.
She didn't hang up her boobs like Dolly. God, that got me.
I'm telling you,
good joke,
it's a Family Guy cutaway.
God. I love that his name is Walter Chang. That's what
I also
Walter Chang.
I also like that his CB base station doesn't have to be plugged in to work.
Yes.
that's true.
Battery.
No,
Yeah, it's obviously battery.
But to be fair, though, it's Walter Chang, played by Victor Wong.
Yeah.
He's got,
Who? What other movie was he
I
in?
mean, it's like,
I'm not mentioning this guy ever
What other
again.
movie?
I'm going to get in trouble. I did something.
Big Trouble in Little China.
of
Are you
course.
kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, he was in that.
I
Yeah.
was going to say it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, I know you didn't want to sound racist.
No.
Again.
He was in Charlie Chan, obviously.
So,
Oh,
hear
it's
me
so
out. This
easy
is
to be
my-
brave from
this
your
is my
bunker, Mr.
favorite
Brown.
Part of the movie.
Oh, yeah, it's the
is
best
in-
part.
Is in the prepper basement.
Yes.
Like, this is awesome. Like,
Yes.
drinking the Pepsi out of the old can. They have got legitimately every single weapon.
That's how you really
That
know they're in
that
Nevada is they're
existed.
drinking Pepsi.
And I just
they're-
love that they just go gun after gun, just like reaching up and grabbing another one.
Which, okay, all
Their
right.
license plate says Uzi for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Which, okay, honestly, the elephant gun should have done the job in about 30 seconds in this movie, guys, right? Like, come on.
Well,
If you can aim it correctly and not, dislocate your shoulder while you're firing it. But
yeah, it's a beast. It's a beast. The rounds that they used in this movie, the prop rounds, are actually just solid pieces of brass that they just cut and molded.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You see it. You very, very briefly see him when he pours the box out.
I didn't notice it. No.
But it's interesting though, because whenever he shoots it, like he doesn't put it on his shoulder.
No, nobody was trained to do anything properly
yeah.
with the weapons in this movie.
Yeah.
That's so obvious. Like, I was sitting there with Josh and I was just like, my God, nobody knows how to properly handle a firearm in this movie. And it's all about survival via firearms.
Reba does. Reba does a good job.
Reba's the best of
Yeah,
everybody. But she's still not perfect. Like,
No.
Mm-mm. She's a country girl.
They make a good couple. They make a great screen couple.
They actually, they really do.
Yeah.
They are very convincing together. Like,
Absolutely.
They are.
Yeah.
They
Absolutely.
really are.
Like she plays that woman who she agrees with him to a certain extent, but she's also been putting up with his shit.
She agrees with him to pacify him. And
yeah,
then, but when she does argue with him, you know that's when she's putting her foot down.
Yeah.
Because by the time she doesn't agree with him anymore, she's like, no,
Yeah.
we're absolutely not. You're not doing this anymore. You've been insane up until this level.
Those are
not
a lot
doing
of
it
guns.
God, and where did
What
they
you
all
got there?
go?
Is that a Heckler and Koch?
Yeah.
Trees.
Yeah. I mean,
God, Simon Pegg wished he had all of those firearms at the end of Hot Fuzz.
they've
My
got
God.
Uzis, Tech 9s, ARs.
They've got
yeah.
everything. And I was just like, that is my perfect prepper.
But no, it's not. And I'll tell you the reason why it's not the perfect prepper. Why I don't think a prepper would actually do that.
Because the worm broke through the wall?
No, because there's your green screen shot against
Yeah.
the model, which, it worked okay. But no, there's a Mini 14 back there, my all-time favorite gun. It
I
is.
thought you loved your Smith & Wesson.
Well, my all-time favorite rifle.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought you went home to daddy every night.
No. She and I curl up in bed every night.
Oh, now she's a she. I see.
But no, they because they've got like all these different guns, so they have to have all those different calibers of bullets.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
kinda-
Yeah, you have to limit what you're going
It's
to
sort of
carry
like
around.
You got
That's-
30, 223. It's just too much.
But then
Too
then distribute
much.
them to the other 10 people that are trying to also live through this crisis.
No, they
I
were
don't-
too busy making pipe bombs.
Yeah, that's true. They did Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
It's a pipe bomb. Anyway,
Thanks, Belgium.
yeah. And
No, what I
just-
love about Reba though is that she reminds me in this movie. She reminds me of every single woman that I grew up knowing as a child in South Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like the no nonsense, like everybody's favorite
Yep.
friend's mama who
Yep.
cooked you the best meal in the entire world. But the moment that her husband said something to her, she looked at him and he cowered in fear because he knew that she might murder him.
Yeah, and she doesn't get and a grab boy could break through her basement, and she doesn't really get flustered.
No. And I knew
You know,
She's pissed
we got
because he
those.
made a mess.
Yeah, exactly. She's gonna have to clean that shit up.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've got to send this to all of you now. Like, have y'all seen the video? They were making fun of it. I want to say around Halloween, where Michael walks into the house and he's going to murder somebody, and he's wielding his weapon, and the mama comes out in like an avocado mask and a robe, and she's pissed off because he tracked in dirt on her floor. That's every Southern mama in the world.
Okay,
Oh, God.
I vacuumed the water.
And then
now.
she beats him to death with her shoes. So yeah, that's a very
La
Southern mama
chancla.
thing for
We
sure.
have plenty of that over here in Texas. La chancla.
Oh man.
And you would think that the survivalist would have some means of communicating outside of the valley,
Yeah. Well, okay. This
Well,
is
they do
my
have
question.
radios.
And this
but
is my
it can't go outside the valley though. They said that because it can't go
they
past the
said
mountains.
that.
Yeah,
the signal can't go over the mountains. But one thing
they
that
don't have
I
a
would-
ham radio.
Speaking
you
of
know?
communication,
They have a satellite dish.
Yes, exactly.
you would think.
Yes,
Is that for that?
Well-
Is that for porn?
obviously.
Yeah.
Survivalist porn.
So there's that, and there's also, and I'll bring this up for quarantine. More people should know sign language, because when you talk, you're noisy and you're making vibrations. If you know how to sign, the worms won't know where you are.
Well, I think I can ask our former submariner here. How would you rate their noise discipline?
Very bad.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Very, very bad.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because, especially the seismologist who's like, they hear things. Don't make noise.
Yeah. Be quiet! Oh my God. Yeah.
It's sort of like
that's exactly
that.
what.
Yeah, that's how my mom says be quiet.
No, it's Southern Mamas.
Yeah.
So there you go. That makes sense.
So,
But
Mr. B, from a military strategy stance, how would you rate the team in this film for their ability to address the situation that they're dealt with?
I think it's constant chaos and really no plan and just going from point A to point B and trying to survive. That's it.
So, like the U.S. military. then,
So Vietnam.
In many ways.
Yes.
In many
Yeah.
ways, yes.
well, I mean, I'm sorry, but who can? That goes back to what they were asking the seismologist about. They were like, "What are these creatures? Where'd they come from? Space or what?" And she's like, "They're unprecedented," and they're like, "What?"
What does that mean?
They don't know what that word
What does that
is.
mean?
She's like, "I don't
She is the
know."
queen. She is the queen of $10 words in this movie.
Yes.
By the way.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
If you look at her script, it's like there's more syllables in any word I've ever seen in my entire life.
Put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, and they do that just to make her sound smart because she's the seismologist, she's the scientist, so she's got to be the smarty. Yet, like you said, Eric, she's the one screaming louder than anybody that we need to be quiet.
This death here, Nestor.
I know.
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that always got me.
Wait, isn't that Mr. Chang? Hang on, I don't know who anybody is.
No, that's a white dude. You should be able to tell him.
I'm colorblind and anosmic. That's fun.
No, but his death is the one that always out of all the one.
You're not a gore person though, so
Well, but it's not a gory death. You don't really see any gore.
But you don't. I don't know. When it comes to violence,
When he just gets
it's just not
sucked
your
under
favorite.
there, and you can hear him screaming as it's going through the ground.
Now, see, I was my usual girl self, and I got upset that the sheep died because I was like, they can't escape, and
Yeah,
Josh
but
was
no
like, damn
dogs
it,
died.
woman.
No dogs died. So
I know, no
that's a plus.
dogs and no horses. The horses threw off Earl and Kevin Bacon, and they were like,
I thought
"Peace."
the horses did.
No, the horse dies. The horse gets eaten.
Yeah, the horse
Oh,
gets eaten.
then I shut it out because I hate it when horses
yeah,
die.
no, the horse totally gets eaten.
Then I
Yeah, that's like one of the
Then I
first
shut it
deaths,
out because
yeah.
And it's not good either. It's an unpleasant.
I shut it out.
It's
Yeah.
a bloody death.
I
Yeah.
must have shut it out then.
So what I always thought was fun about Nestor's name was that Nestor was the
That is
name
not how
of the
you
little
shoot that
nerdy character inside Nintendo Power
Yes.
back in the long, long ago.
Nintendo Power, for those of you who don't know, was a magazine. Magazines were printed media with words on them that were delivered to your house.
Wait.
On a regular basis.
Can you draw me a picture? I don't understand.
Yeah, it had no interface.
What's an interface?
Yeah, you just had to flip
Yes.
through it, and yeah.
But yeah, this is like when Mr.
You know-
B tried to explain to me what a VHS tape was.
Yes.
All over again.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm
I
older than you might
actually
expect.
wrote into Nintendo Power in the long, long ago and got published in issue number 3 for a letter I wrote in.
You should put that on your CV.
I do. It is on my TV. It's like
that'll
my
go-
patents, my job, all this
Publications.
stuff, and I wrote into Nintendo Power and got published in issue number 3.
That'll be part of his IMDb credit.
I don't care what job you're going for. I don't care what. If that came across my desk,
You're hired.
hire this man.
No, sometimes that helps because, gentlemen, back in the day when I was a bartender at Bahama Breeze, they told us to write.
Wait, you're a bartender at Bahama Breeze? Don't they sell like? Oh, that's Bahama Bucks. Never mind.
4,000 different drinks. Yes, so you have to know about 40 billion different drinks. Yeah, it's crazy. But when they held quote unquote auditions for you to be a bartender because you have to know flair
I
and
bet
like
they did.
no, you have to know how to flip bottles and do all those fancy tricks and stuff. If you're a bartender at Bahama Breeze, they don't kid around. It's like going to bartender college. It's crazy. But they told us when we started out to write a letter just of interest, and they were like, let us see your personality in this. So when Jason said that about your resume, what I did is the most interesting man in the world commercials were popular back then. So what I did to do my letter of intent was
Wow, you are young.
just a little. But anyway, I'm not as young as young Adam, whom you haven't met. But anyway,
I saw him on video, but yes, yeah.
yeah, he looks like he's 12. Anyway, so I wrote my letter of intent and I said, I would be a fantastic bartender because I can make 20-minute brownies in 15 minutes. The police often question me just because they find me interesting. I speak fluent French in Russian. I would be the most interesting bartender in the world. And apparently I did make bartender, obviously. And then my boss apparently came out of his office crying, laughing. And the lead bartender back then was like, holy shit, what prompted you to do that? I was like, he said to show my personality, and apparently that's what it is. So yeah, if I saw something like that, I would hire somebody. Like I uploaded this to Nintendo 3 or whatever. Yeah, I would do the same thing.
I'm not even going to share what my letter is because the people who watch YouTube would have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. So.
Don't want to
But the internet is vast.
It's a vast rabbit hole.
Yes.
That it is.
So the movie.
Oh, speaking of age, hold on. Speaking of age,
Okay.
we've got to give a shout out to Mr.
Oh, that's right.
Brown. He just turned 27 all over again. He just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Brown.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
How did you get
Happy
that
birthday, Mr.
information?
Brown.
That's top secret. Well, thank you. Thank
Darth
you very
Vader
much.
has her ways. Don't worry about it. We just missed it a
I-
couple of weeks ago.
I was going to ask the costumer here, the one looks like she's the purple Teletubby. What were they thinking when they dressed her up that way? You'll see who I'm talking about when she shows up. The outfits are a little bit very 90s.
Very 90s.
Oh, God.
And we liked it.
We were okay with it.
We were fine.
I love Kevin Slater's red corduroy shirt.
Yeah, the corduroy.
I want that
Yeah.
shirt so bad.
Yeah.
It's-
It's. If I had a time machine, I'd be very tempted to go back.
Well, okay, I missed this too about the
Oh,
90s.
I would totally go back.
Yeah.
Oof, landed on his butt right there. That had to hurt. Broken tailbone immediately. But gentlemen, remember when you did have to drive somewhere to use a phone?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
God,
Yeah.
like that's crazy to me is that you went out and your mom was just like, okay, be back by the time it gets dark because that's when supper's happening. And that was the rule in our old neighborhood. And I can't even imagine
Well,
kids who have had phones their entire
No, I mean
lives.
my kid is 10, and actually, Darth, if you would hand that artifact, not that next to it, to me when he comes into my office, the thing the thing that fascinates him the most
Yes.
is
the rotary
this.
phone.
rotary telephone. He thinks that this is he looks
It's
at
archaic.
it, and to him it just baffles him that all this does is make phone calls. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. It just makes phone calls, and it weighs 78 pounds.
Roughly.
Can you take a picture with it, Jason?
Yeah, we'll take a picture.
Sure.
Need to take a break because I've messed up my.
We will actually. That's a good time. We are going to take a quick break, everybody. We will be back with you in about 1 second. And we're back.
And
Did you miss us?
no, they didn't.
No, you didn't.
You know who did?
Ooh.
Our one person who keeps checking on us
Yes.
on YouTube. We've got to
Yes.
give her a shout out.
Please do.
I shall. So at first it was kind of funny because we're not sure where she's from, but her name is Kay Mooney, and
Yes.
she
Hi,
was
Kay.
Hi, Kay, and she's actually quite a sweetheart because on our Shaun of the Dead episode, she actually asked us if we're doing okay. Now we're mostly used to trolls.
Yeah. I mean, my mom doesn't even call to ask if I'm okay.
No, neither does mine.
So that was very refreshing.
It was. We've had two trolls. Jason thought that was hilarious when we had the first troll because they specifically hated me. And then the second one hated both of us. And then Jason didn't think it was so funny anymore. So now we have Kay.
Cross the line.
Who actually, yeah, screw Darth Vader. If you hate Jason, you're going down. No, but, yeah, that doesn't work.
I can't do that bit with
it's
headphones on.
Watch out for that Hitler. He's a bad egg. Anyway, so Kay has actually checked in on us, not just from Shaun of the Dead, but lately she just keeps telling us how much she enjoys the show. So Kay, we enjoy you. Thank
we
you for
love
being a
you.
listener.
And please, if you have any requests
Absolutely.
Comment, let us know. We would love to do a movie.
Yep, absolutely.
let
You
us
can
know.
call in and we'd love to talk to you for sure.
And somebody rated us quite highly on Facebook.
They did. I have not solidified if that's a legit fan or not yet.
Well,
So
what
we
did they
can-
say? Didn't they say something about...
They said that they loved you.
Yeah.
In
It
particular.
feels real. It feels
Of
like
course
a
it does,
real...
because everyone hates me and they love you. So, yeah, is that what you wanted
You're
to
welcome,
freaking
Jason.
hear?
You're welcome. You're welcome, Jason.
You got it, bud.
No, but we did have somebody come into our Facebook the other day and rate us a 5 out of 5, which was a huge compliment.
I don't even rate us 5 out of 5.
I barely even remember that I have a show. So anyway, they rated us 5 out of 5, and they said love the guy. So I don't know if they love you or if they love Mr. B, because he's been on the show almost as much as
That's
you
true.
have.
That's
So
true. It could
he-
easily have been talking about Mr.
All
B.
they said
yeah.
was love the guy. So it's one of the two of you. And
I think it was young Adam.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, that's true.
Probably.
That's true. It probably was young
or
Adam.
my voice is deep enough, like that first troll said, that they might think that I'm a guy. So whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, baby.
Oh, hey, Marshmallow.
I love the guy named Jade.
Yeah, first, we're gonna tease.
Shut
Kay-
up, Meg.
We'll tease Kay just a little bit, because our first reviewer, or one of our first reviewers, because she did not seem to understand that Darth and Jade are the same person.
I think that was just typing quickly.
May have
Yeah.
been. So she was like, I hope Darth and
That's
Jade
my
are
typing.
okay.
That's my typing motion. by
And
the
it was
way.
so cute. We loved it. So thank you, Kay. We love you. So if you want to call in, be a guest, absolutely join us. For the rest of you trolls, suck it.
Yes.
That's all we have to say.
But
So-
keep watching.
Adam, quit trolling our account. That's all I have to say. My God. So anyway, there's
Wait a
a
minute.
movie.
You're not in your basement, are you?
So,
There's a window.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind.
I don't have a
so can we
basement.
talk about pipe bombs?
No.
Yes. Yes. I love pipe bombs. Who doesn't?
It's
Eric,
a pipe bomb.
when did you make a pipe bomb? How many pipe bombs did you make as a kid? Come on, you're from Texas.
Come on, everybody made.
No, I'm
pipe
from
bombs.
Louisiana. It's
He's
even
from-
worse.
He lives in
I-
Texas. Deep in the heart of Texas. So pipe bombs. Go.
I mean, unfortunately, since this is going to be published worldwide, I just can't really say exactly when it happened, but it probably happened about 1988, about 11 years
Oh,
old.
the statute of
the
limitations
year I was
ran.
born.
Yeah. No, you're fine. The statutes run.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yeah,
They can't prosecute you for
made
anything.
Legitimate pipe bombs with PVC pipe, and yeah, we would do that shit. I look back on it, and I cannot believe
No
that it
shit.
didn't blow off one of my appendages.
I remember as a kid, I had a friend of mine named who was totally crazy. I mean, he was nuts. And he showed up one day. And do you remember the old Band-Aid, the metal Band-Aid
cans.
case, the cans with the
Yes.
flip top, right?
Oh yeah.
And so he
And then they did gum like that too, that looked like the Band-Aid cases, but it had gum
Sure.
instead of Band-Aids. No, it's a thing. I'm a 90s kid. Don't worry about
I
it.
know, but what does that have to do with?
I'm just
There's
contributing
nothing
to
to
your
do.
story.
What does that have to do with the price of oil in China?
The price of a tea in China, I think. But anyway, go
Shoot.
ahead with your story.
Anyway, yeah, it shows up with it full about halfway with black powder, and the rest of it just with like, I don't know what he used for wadding, and a fuse. And he just decides, hey guys, I decided I'd build this and we could blow it up. And all of us said, that sounds like a great idea.
Well, because as John Mulaney says,
I'm out.
finish your
I mean,
story.
No, that's it.
That was it?
It blew up and he ended up with a piece of Band-Aid tin permanently embedded in his chest.
I have two children, so I never blew up a pipe bomb between my legs while I was filling them because I would legitimately like grab it between my knees and fill it up. I mean, like,
How are we still alive?
See, I thought Jeff Foxworthy was crazy because he was like, we used to throw lawn darts up in the air, and that was a
We had those.
game. No, I know. Mr. B has said it too. He's like, we used to throw the lawn darts up in the air. And even the shit that we did, going off of homemade ramps made out of your dad's scrap wood or whatever, like, we used to play outside, and
Throwing
Darwinism
rocks
took
at
care of a
cars.
lot of things. So
You threw rocks at cars?
they knew Linda would get them.
You know, I'm starting to think that the movie
Jay?
Tremors doesn't have as much grabbing power
As you initially thought it might. No,
No,
it's
the best parts are happening right now with the pipe bomb.
Yes.
I will say that
Yes.
this is whenever it really catches my attention.
yeah.
But
Yes.
Jade, I will say this. Just think, on my 15th birthday, me and my friends discovered that you could take Q-tips, the wrapped ones, not the little stupid plastic stick ones, but the ones with the little wrapped piece of paper, break them in half, pull the cotton off, and load them into your pellet rifle and shoot at one another with.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this the friend that shot you in the back?
No, that was a different friend who shot me with a BB gun. No,
Oh my God.
just because he was bored and I was on my bicycle riding behind him, and
And you
just,
were a moving target.
and he just decided to shoot me in the back of the BB gun.
because you got bored back in the day, and then it just, idiocy is the mother of invention,
Yes.
not necessity. Because boredom and idiocy—that's
Boredom.
what it really is.
Well, it's sort of like when the first
We
time.
were-
Go ahead.
No, I was saying we were fine. We didn't get caught until I shot one of my buddies right here.
Oh,
Well, and we were. Oh,
And it's stuck in his face. And his mom had to pull it out with a pair of pliers.
ooh.
And did he
Was it
rat you
was it
out
a
though?
Red Rider BB gun?
No, it was a Browning. It was one of those Browning
Ooh.
pellet rifles that had pumps
Mr. Browning.
that you could pump between 1 and 10.
Yep.
And the more you pumped,
Like the
Yeah.
Nike
More you
shoes.
pump.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my
Oh,
question
God.
is though, did your friend rat you out, or did he say, "I don't know what happened to me"?
totally ratted us out.
Oh, that bastard.
Oh,
Because normally
Flick did it.
Grandpa
I heard it from Flick.
and back me up on this one, gentlemen. Like, that's why you hurt your friends from the neck down back in the day. Because if you ruin Mother's Easter pictures, holy shit,
Oh, no.
she would get you for that.
No, because she was going to
But-
come talk to your mom, and then your mom was going to talk to your dad, and then your dad was going to come talk to you.
And there was either a belt or a paddle.
And
Those were the options.
and it wasn't going to be pleasant.
No, it wasn't.
Hey, son, remember your dog? What do you mean, remember?
No, but that's also why you hurt your friends from the neck down, because then your parents were like, is it going to mess up your pictures at school or Easter pictures or anything? No? Okay. Snitches get stitches. Shut up. And your parents were like, I don't want to hear about this.
Son, you don't ever rat your friends out.
No, unless they ruin Mother's Easter photos, and then your host. But yeah.
It's sort of like the.
I
Go ahead.
I love this part right here because Melvin just realized that he didn't have
Yeah.
any.
He knows everyone in the
bullets
movie.
his
My
gun.
God.
Melvin.
Melvin.
Bert, you asshole.
Yeah. and he gets such a kick out of it, like,
Where are those pole vaulting canes when we need them?
oh, I
Gee
know.
Willikers, gang.
I know. We can use this scaffolding to build a thing to get us out of here.
Oh my God. Or we could use that elephant gun to like blow a crater in the earth. My God. Who
And
knows?
I am totally digging on Christian Bacon's wife beater.
can't
Opened
get
it up right now, like with the heart
With the
belt buckle.
yeah, the heart belt buckle and the
like,
dirt.
I have feels in
Because he's
places that I haven't
Valentine.
felt in a long time.
Of
Yeah.
course he has a heart belt buckle. His name is Valentine.
Shh.
Blew your minds!
Mind blown.
I win. I win
see?
today.
And I'll be honest.
Valentine, be mine.
Oh. And,
Aw.
and I'll be honest, that's another thing that I
had
didn't
to do it, Mr.
notice.
Brown.
I didn't make that connection until today because I read it somewhere. So
Really?
I wouldn't have made that connection either.
No.
No.
Well, of course not, because
Yeah.
you guys are guys. So you don't care about
Dark,
Valentine's
That
Day.
is amazing.
I hate
Welcome.
Valentine's Day.
Well, I'm a big deal for multiple reasons today, and Mr. B can contest to this because I'll tell you what, the Andy Buckley from The Office liked a tweet that starred my catchphrase involving Mr. B on the coffee mug that we sell. He did a little French press picture with his coffee mug this morning, and it was from The Office, and he said, yeah, what a wonderful world it would be if everybody could start their day off like this. So I took the exact same shot with my French press and my, oh my God, Adam mug. And I said, does it count if I'm using my catchphrase mug? Because I don't have an office mug. And he liked it. So,
Sounds good.
Andy, we love you. Thank you for paying attention to us and, reminding us that,
If you come
The
on the
trolls
show,
don't
if
matter.
you come on the show, I'll watch The Office.
oh, absolutely he will. I'll make him do it. Anyway.
I love.
Shout out to Michael Gross's ball cap. It's the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
Which is kind of random. It's very
It's
random.
Totally random. That's what I said too.
Like, I wonder if there's a story behind that. I wonder if Michael Gross just had that hat. you know, or if
Spud Webb gave it to him.
yeah,
Spud Webb gave it to him.
yeah. Look at Kevin Christensen over there. Look at him. Look how
What's
cool
his
he. Look
face?
how cool he looks, just
He's just
leaning up
posing.
against.
That smile. Oh, he's so dreamy.
He's like,
Oh
I
my
need to get back on
God.
GQ
Oh, yeah,
immediately.
GQ.
Remember when
Yeah,
magazines?
I remember GQ.
You reminded me of magazines,
Yes.
and then I remembered
Yes.
that one existed. So, now the seismologist once again, she's all here for the $10 words, like you said.
Yeah.
But she forgets that vibrations can be used to their advantage. She's not the one that thinks of, hey, let's throw some rocks or something heavy
Yeah.
in this direction to distract the penises this way.
By the way, from a screenwriting
also-
standpoint, one thing that I like in this is that they didn't establish that Earl did like lasso stuff early in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it was so
I,
random.
I like the fact that they didn't have a scene, you know, and it's weird because it's like,
You like payoff, but
I like payoff, but it's
that would have been a
it's
little
very,
too random.
It's very nice and totally believable for Val just to say, "Oh, you're not going to do your lasso thing," and you've already
Yeah.
gotten to know the character well enough that it's like it's completely understandable and believable that he would do lasso stuff.
Yeah, well, they're out in Nevada. There's some handyman, and it's.
Hey, you
it's
said it
very-
right.
Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada. I've had people correct me like angrily.
No, I think you got excited
No.
that one time I
Yeah.
said Canberra correctly.
Yeah. Eric, were you
Eric.
going to say something?
no, I was going to say that like it was for the time you would have expected like in one of the early scenes for him to be like
Yeah, look,
in a
there'd
field
be
just
a
lassoing or like having lassoed a cat, a cat
Yeah.
or something like
or
that.
there'd be
You
like
just
a
haven't seen
picture of a young him with a lasso, and somebody
Yeah.
would go, "Oh, did you used to do that?"
Yeah, there'd be some payoff
Yeah,
somewhere.
like yeah,
Right.
yeah, oh
What-
yeah. I
What are
used,
you guys? Are you guys quality filmmakers or something? What are you talking about? Come on.
hey, look, back in the day,
I'll-
you could get a schlocky movie that was still made right.
They're the quality filmmakers, Mr. B. You and I are just the local community theater members. That's just us.
I
True
also
that.
like that. I also like that Michael Gross knows exactly how long of a fuse 15
Yes.
seconds is.
Yeah, I thought that several
he's
times.
Like, he's like, how much time do you need? Oh, 15 seconds. Okay, so he like cuts off like yay
Well,
much of
that's a
it.
Yeah.
And then
that-
on
then
on
that makes no
screen,
sense that
it's
they're.
like
Sorry.
38 seconds. I count, not that I counted, but
Yeah,
Of course not. No, but that's such a Georgia thing too, where it's like, you're from Georgia when people tell you how far away something is, not by miles, but by time.
oh yeah. Well, I
It's
used
about as far as
oh,
the big chicken.
Yeah.
Like,
How he lives about half an hour from here.
yeah, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people are
yeah.
like, well,
I still do that. I do that all the time.
me too, because
Yeah.
I grew up in Georgia, and then
Yeah.
when I met people from other states, they were like, okay, but what? Like, how many miles is that? Like, how far are they physically? And I was like,
you know,
oh.
at home when we say you were going to go someplace, you go straight. That's 3 miles.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then you turn at the cow on the sign, which
Yeah.
I'm not lying is exactly how you get to my grandma's house.
That's straight up from The Office. Turn when you hear the beehive.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's just-
yeah.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Or I mean, it's weird when you say an expression like "I'm going into town" and someone doesn't know what that like. What do you mean you're going into town?
Is there somebody who doesn't understand what that expression means?
Well, yeah,
It's
but there's a
pretty
lot of people
obvious.
who live in big cities. They don't understand.
who live in town, I guess.
Yeah,
so
they live in town. They don't understand that.
even if you're walking distance from,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Because my uncle Daryl, I would stay with my aunt and uncle every summer, and he'd be like, "All right, I'm walking into town. Does anybody need anything?" And you're just like, "No, sir, we're
Yeah.
good," and you're set. But like,
I'm gonna
yeah,
go. I'm gonna
okay.
get. I'm gonna get out at the store.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get out at the store.
I'm a light out.
Yeah,
That's what I would
yeah.
do.
Or get down at the store.
Yeah, get down
Yeah,
at the
or you
store,
get
light
down.
out
Yeah,
at the
get down at the
store.
store. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. A lot of the
No.
shit we say makes no damn sense.
I live in a city of 200,000 people, and I still say when I'm actually going to Dallas that I'm going to the city.
Right.
And they know what you mean.
Yeah.
They all
know
do.
what you mean.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
People
Mr.
know what I mean, but
Mi-
it's just to think about like the fact that like I say I'm going to the city when I live in a place
Yeah,
the
with
That is a
largest
city.
200,000
live,
people.
Yeah.
it's 20 times larger than my hometown.
Well, no, same here in
Yeah.
Alpharetta, because it's not a small little
No, it's not,
podunk
no.
town like it used to be, because it did. It was a little country town when it first started.
Yeah,
up.
it was a cotton port.
But when you go to
yeah, us too. Yeah.
but when you go to Atlanta now, you say, "Oh, I'm going downtown,"
Yeah, downtown.
and people know that you're going to Atlanta.
well, and the funny thing though is that when you live in the metro
In downtown
well,
Alpharetta?
if you live outside of the perimeter, as we say,
OTP.
yeah, and you say I'm going downtown, the look on everyone's face is always the same. It's always I'm so sorry.
I know.
If you ever say I'm going downtown, I'm so sorry.
Well, unlike every other major metropolitan
are you
city,
are you dying of a disease and the cure is only to be found there?
We've
There
got
might-
just no, and that's a huge thing in Alpharetta, like around. And I live out in Canton now, but people still say they're like, we got just as good of restaurants here as they do down there. Like, why are you going down there?
Yeah.
So it's,
No, you're not wrong.
it's hilarious.
Atlanta is
You're a hot mess.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well, and if you ever look at a map of the county we're in,
It makes zero sense.
It
Atlanta does. Yeah.
you know, Fulton County didn't used to be the shape that it is now. There used to be another county called Milton County that went bankrupt,
Yes.
and they basically
Very Parks and Recreation.
they
Yes.
basically got absorbed into Fulton County because they were out of money, which is ironic because now we're down there is out of money, and we want to
It's
leave.
swapped. Yes.
If you get like jury duty, they don't care if you live in Alpharetta and you've got an hour and a half to get to the courthouse. You have to be there at 7 a.m.
Yep, I was one of part of a jury that sent a man to prison for life, and I had to drive down to Atlanta every single morning to do it for about 2 weeks.
I have.
I'm not proud of it. It wasn't a great. It wasn't great.
Wait, is this the sound you heard? Wait, I'm imagining how do you find jury of 4-person guilty?
somewhere in between? I don't know what the sound would be. Anyway,
we are not. So
The movie's
where I
about to
live-
wrap.
I was about to say the movie's
I was about
over.
to say there's a movie.
Yeah, you killed a man. Whatever. Okay.
We didn't kill him. He's just in prison.
So Christian Bacon just tempted a graboid to fly through a wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he smashed down to the ground like whenever you drop your trash bag, that time when you're stumbling outside
Yes.
to go put the trash out, like when the garbage is passing
Yes.
and you trip and fall and all your beer bottles bust and break. That's
Yes.
exactly what just happened in
That's
this
never happened to him ever. Clearly.
Yeah, no.
It happened yesterday. What are you talking about?
Quarantine.
Yesterday was trash day.
Quarantine.
Clink,
If
clink,
you're
clink,
not
clink.
if you're not hammered on your
I was in
Zoom
my
work
underwear,
calls, what are
I
you
had
even
my
doing?
Trash bag.
But yeah, so okay, we do get a bit of payoff here with Valentine because he gets
He gets the
the
cute girl.
Yeah, he gets the cute girl, even though she doesn't fit his list at all. So Valentine reached a little bit of self-actualization, a little bit of character arc.
I just like that,
guess.
Kevin Bacon's like, what would a girl like that want with a guy like me?
Yeah, that's just.
It's like, oh, wait, I'm Kevin Bacon. What am I talking about?
I mean, he was emptying a septic tank earlier in the movie,
Well, that's
and
true.
I guess she doesn't want to get sprayed with the contents. So
This is not the original ending of the movie, though.
But now hold
Is
on.
it not?
She's clearly playing hard to get because she took a picture of Kevin Bacon with her Nikon 35 millimeter and didn't show him the picture. She's keeping it a secret.
she's keeping it for other
So-
purposes.
Yeah.
That's because
So
it had
in
to be developed.
Oh, right.
In the
You-
paradigm,
I forgot about that.
in the paradigm of 90s movie girls, where does she fall?
Ooh, because okay, before you answer, Jason, because remember we've had the Babes of Hindsight is Horrifying, and for Eric, who hasn't heard all of our episodes, so you've got Alicia Silverstone from Clueless and Batman and Robin, which we'll be releasing soon. It'll be out by the time we've said this, but Uma Thurman, also from Batman and Robin. I'm adding her to the list because damn,
Yeah.
Poison Ivy, and Cameron Diaz from The Mask. So those are just the hottie McHotties that we've seen thus far. Because Cameron Diaz looks like Jessica Dan Rabbit in The Mask in that red dress. Woof.
She's extremely attractive, and I think she's a talented actress. And I've always been sort of surprised that she really didn't have much of a career.
Well, to me, she kind of looks like Barbara Streisand, a little main eventish with the crimped up hair.
I don't know if I can go with you on that
I think it's
one.
the hair more so than anything else.
I don't. Oh God, Tremors 4
Or
is up next.
she's like a Barbara Streisand-y Jennifer Grey type.
I can see Jennifer Grey.
We
yes.
did have Sloane, and we also had Jennifer Grey on
Jennifer
Ferris
Grey-
Bueller's Day Off.
Jennifer
so-
Grey I can totally see Jennifer Grey.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I'd say she's somewhere in the middle.
I kind of see. I think she's more attractive than Jennifer Grey.
Since we didn't do the main event on the show, I will remove Barbra Streisand, and yeah, I'll compare her to Jennifer Grey. There we
Okay.
go.
What about you guys?
Well, I'm thinking, do you think her name Finn had something to do with it? I mean, who's going to hire someone named Finn?
Finn.
A
Maybe.
woman named Finn.
Well, it's kind of, I mean, you got Bruce Willis and Demi Moore, and they named one of their kids,
Oh, who the hell knows?
no, but like,
You know,
even-
there's a rumor they might be getting back together.
they did.
Oh, come on. just like Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt.
He took a picture at her house on
In the
Easter.
green striped pajamas.
In the green striped
I did see
pajamas
that,
on
yes,
Easter.
on Instagram.
I'm just saying.
And who does?
Dude,
but
she's
but they're both
stupid
married to other
Ashton.
people.
Come on.
I know.
Oh,
but they'd
you
be
think
such
she's
a
taking
so
that-
much cuter.
No, Mila Kunis is with Ash. Oh,
okay, all right. You guys fight it out.
No, anyway, it doesn't matter. So, all right, gentlemen, we need to bring it full circle and go Alf to Seinfeld.
Yes.
But except I think I was the only one young enough in 1990 to go Alf to Seinfeld, except maybe.
Well, no, I saw it in the theater. No, all three of the four of us saw it, and
Okay. I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it years later.
We need to, again, remind our audience: the Alf to Seinfeld scale is not. It's not a scale of how good a movie is.
No, absolutely not.
It is a scale of how a movie has aged.
Yes. So for Eric, who has not been on the show before, and for hindsighters who might be joining us for the first time ever, so the way Alf to Seinfeld works is a 5 is pretty much a quote-unquote perfect score, meaning that it hasn't changed since the first time you saw the movie. Now, Alf
Which means
is,
you if you loved it then, you love it now, it's a 5. If you hated it then and you hate it now,
precisely.
it's a 5.
And it stayed straight down the middle. Otherwise, the worst score you can get is Alf. Because when you were a kid, Alf was the height of comedy. He was just the best comedian ever. And then you grew up to realize that Alf was it was a dumpster inferno. Like, it was awful.
Yeah.
So then.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage. Yeah, dumpster inferno. So,
Yeah.
on the other hand, Seinfeld is the highest score because when you're a kid, you don't know what these boring ass adults are talking about where they're arguing.
Special thank to Kira Sedgwick.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's wife.
Yeah.
Christian Bacon's wife.
That's right.
Anyway,
They gave her a thanks.
Christian
That's kind of nice.
Christian Bacon. So, anyway, Seinfeld is the highest score because when you're a kid, you don't understand what these boring adults are talking about where they're like, oh, I hate moving, or my boss is so annoying, or whatever. And then you grow up and you realize that Seinfeld is the greatest thing that's ever happened on television in the history of the ever. So, on Alf to Seinfeld, where does this rank for you guys?
I will go first. I will give it a 6 because I think it's because
Okay.
I like it a little more than I did as a kid.
All right.
I liked it a lot whenever I was a kid,
All right.
and I like it a little bit more. But it really hasn't. It's been pretty constant. It's almost a 5,
Okay.
but I like it enough more that I would give it a 6.
Okay. Gotcha. Anybody else, or should I jump in there?
Now, I can't vote because I haven't seen it, but I'll tell you, I'm going to binge watch the rest of the movie.
So am I.
You've got plenty of material.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I'd forgotten. Yeah, that makes sense because I'd forgotten about all the other stuff about the ones flying because of
The ass blasters.
the pyrotechnics. Yes. All right, then I'll go next. So, I'm actually gonna go a little bit lower, and I didn't want to, but it just. I don't know. I grew up watching this movie, and I was like, I thought, Kevin and Earl were just so cool, or Christian Bacon, whatever his name is, who cares? I just thought they were so cool. I thought they were so, awesome. And then I grew up and I watched this movie again last night, and I was like, oh no. So I'm gonna go with a 4 on this one. Unfortunately, I still enjoy it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It did not improve.
Yeah.
It lessened. So Eric, how you feeling?
I love this movie. I love this movie the first time I saw it. I love this movie on Saturday when I watched it again. I love this movie today when I watched it again. And so like I give it the highest score possible. What's the highest score possible?
Well, a 5.
Seinfeld, so-
no.
Well, if it didn't change,
Yeah.
so yeah.
You loved it before, you love it today. It's a 5.
So
Yeah,
it didn't improve for you at all. It's just as perfect as it always was.
It's exactly, yes. I love this movie.
That's a 5.
I think that if you take this movie from the time in 1990 when I was 7 years old,
Is
I think back
he
on
like
those
Eddie
times-
Izzard too?
Yes, he does.
And I think back on those times and I remember what it was like to be that. And when I started this movie and I pressed play and I saw Christian Bacon and I was just taken back
That's so funny.
to 1990. And yeah, there is nothing wrong with this movie. Everybody should watch this movie at least once a year.
I do agree that
yeah.
everybody should see this
Yes.
movie. Like it's great. It just didn't improve for me.
Well, this is really one of the rare, because a 6, a 4, and a 5. That
That's
means
almost a
that
perfect score.
It is. It's a 5.
It averages
out to a 5.
That's the first time that's ever
I
happened.
think it's the first time we've got a perfect 5.
Yep, absolutely. Now we've had instances where we've agreed on exact like 7s or
Yeah.
this, that, and the other, but that's the first time we've ever averaged a perfect 5.
Right.
Historical episode, gentlemen. Well done.
An epic bombshell episode.
But then
This is what you tune in for.
what's like you said, because like I said, these two gentlemen kicked me in the teeth, Eric, over Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and it's not really about whether it improved, whether it didn't. Ultimately, the score is super subjective. It's what it means to you.
It's totally meaningless.
The nostalgic factor.
Yeah.
That's what it's
And,
worth.
and I will say this, I do want to say that I kind of take issue with the whole Seinfeld thing about kids and adults, because I might have kind of could relate to Seinfeld as it aged in seasons. Not that I watched that show live when it first started and live when it ended. So, I mean, not that I did that, but it
No.
could have happened. And I could have related the entire time that it was on television.
Maybe I
So,
didn't.
let's,
Maybe I didn't explain it properly enough. So the boring adult problems that was my perspective on Seinfeld, because I was born in '88. So when Seinfeld was in its heyday, I didn't understand what these boring adults were talking about, and to me, that was kind of the equivalent of your mom running into her best friend Janice at the grocery store and talking for 45 minutes, and you felt like you were dying a slow, painful death because you're like, I don't care about anything that they're talking about, just and you felt your soul dying. So, but Seinfeld completely flip flopped.
Yeah.
I was not born in '88, so I have a little different flavor
Yes.
for.
No, so that makes
for
sense.
I mean-
It's just for comparison purposes. That's really all it is.
I'm
I love
not as old
Seinfeld
as
now.
Mr. B. I mean, nobody's that old. But
Wait, you just woke him up.
Mr. B.
I've come
Aw.
to grips. I've come to grips with my age.
No, you haven't. You only did because you sort of revealed a bit of it on one of the episodes by accident.
Quiet. Quiet.
Well,
Quiet.
on
Mr.
You did it, not
Mr.
me.
B, remember, we get busy living or we get busy dying.
yeah,
That's true.
that's the way I figured.
Very
it.
true.
You either die a trilogy or you live long enough to become Batman and Robin. That's what you do. So that's what you do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us again tonight, and thank you very much to our guest hosts, our veteran guest host Adam B, and our brand new guest host Eric. Thank you both for sort of breaking your quarantine, virtually breaking your quarantine.
Yes, we'll see them in person at
Yes,
some
at some point in the future, we hope.
across
Within
that
10
rainbow
days,
connection.
10 days, I'm going to be in 10 days. I'm going to be in Alpharetta.
Well, we will
Almost
do
guaranteed.
we will do a special episode.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, we will do a special
just make sure to
episode.
take your supplements, and I will be happy to meet you in the studio.
I have my mask.
No, but yeah, so Hindsiders, we of course appreciate you. We are going to keep bringing you episodes, albeit a little more slowly than normal, because we are doing the Zoom. That takes a little more editing, a little more effort, but we do love you. We want to make sure that you're still tuning in and you've got something to keep you entertained during this quarantine. So thank you for joining us for your drive time, your listening time. Well, what used to be your gym time, what used to be your restaurant time. So I guess you've got a lot more time on your hands. We appreciate you tuning in. Big thank you to Mr. B and Eric for showing up. Thank you, guys. Please say goodbye to the Hindsiders.
Goodbye, Hindsiders. I'll see you again soon.
That was creepy.
Goodbye, Hindsiders. Hopefully to see you from inside the studio.
Exactly. So once again, this has been Darth and Jason. This is Hindsight, and good night.